Hello, 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 hello. It is your boys, the DM Podcast. We're doing this after game number 3 of the Mavs and the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're going to talk overall all playoffs, like the both playoff series, which both are 3-0. Like, I didn't expect 3-0. I'm pretty sure YS didn't expect 3-0. But before we continue, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys like it and comment below. We want to hear what you guys have to say. We want to start engaging with people. We know people have thoughts. We want to hear it. But before I continue, my boy YS, how's everything going?
You already know, every day above ground.
I agree. Always. As long as you're above ground, I think we can all be happy with that. So I think that it's always good. We can just start off with the series behind me. The series, like I said, just finished 3-0. The thing is, with most of these games, I would say like I've been watching the last kind of quarter of things. Even sometimes the fourth quarter, because my superstition comes in, especially for the Pacers, because the Pacers are like Raptors adjacent, that I'm really only watching the last like quarter of the game. This Mavs game against the Timberwolves, I only really watched like I was going in and out, but I really watched the last like I saw they were tied 100, then tied again for like 104, and then I
Yeah.
watched the rest of the game. And then I just seen Minnesota. I seen Cat do he had the steal, then he went through he was handling the ball, and then he did a step back three, clanked it. Then I think it was Kyrie had the ball on the baseline, then hit it a kind of a Jimmy right over. So I think he could have got fouled. Then that's kind of where the game kind of went to shits, right? So I have a few thoughts of this series, but let me know some of your thoughts. What have you seen from the series so far? It's 3-0 Dallas. What have you seen?
Man, I see I see a lot, but what I really see is the dominance of two isolation players, especially ball dominant players in the playoffs. And you see how it's to their advantage in the playoffs, right? Gafford, PJ, those additions. We don't even see Dwight Powell anymore. We barely see Dwight Powell, and he was the main guy before the running rim runner, right? Whatever. But here's the thing, though, with the Mavericks and Minnesota, Ant-Man, he made a play in the fourth quarter where he got the ball, and then he, for some reason, was around three Dallas Mavericks players, Luka included, and then he just held the ball down. And
Hmm.
I'm wondering, why are you holding the ball down by your ankles? And there's three Mavericks defenders right there. Why didn't you dribble out? Even Reggie Miller's like, you could have just dribbled it out.
Yeah.
And then it proceeded to be a jump ball. They lost the jump ball. I think Dallas hit a three. And it was certain things like that. Like, it's just, why did you do that? Right? You were already in the third quarter cooking. It looked like, Minnesota took the lead in the third, climbed out from the hole. Ant-Man's going off. Thank you. This is good to see. This is looking like a 2-1 series. But
Right.
then end of the fourth, where that veteran team, more like I can't say more veteran team, but Kyrie, the ring, Luka, been playing professional ball since what, 15, 16?
Right. I think that's what we're seeing. I think we're seeing even with the Boston series, it's not really about like who is the oldest team. It's more about the team who's has the most playoff experience.
Yeah.
Because Minnesota, they're taking leads and then they're coughing it up.
Same with the
Indiana, oh
Pacers.
my goodness,
Yeah.
taking leads, coughing it up. They don't know how to maintain a lead. They don't know how to keep the momentum going, making
Yeah.
bad plays. So you're seeing that a lot.
And a lot of little errors that are just costing them, like that are causing like a 5 point swing in the game, right? And it's just little errors, right? A bad foul here, right?
Right.
Certain things like Jaden McDaniels riding Luka, certain things up the court, getting these ticky-tack fouls, right? And there
Right.
was another foul where he could have got called on Luka hitting like a three. He could have got called on Luka fell, right? So it's like, but like again, he hasn't been in this situation before, right?
I'm
Ant-Man
looking
too
at the
hasn't been in
stats.
this. Even though they're playing good, right?
Yeah.
Towns, Towns,
I see he was 0 of 8 shooting the
0 of
three.
8 from three. Towns. Not only that, but I feel like in every playoff series he's been in foul trouble. In every playoff series in his career.
This I feel like well, this game it shows that he was better. He only had two personal fouls.
Yeah. But overall, in the series, he's always in foul trouble in
Yeah.
playoff series. That's Towns' Achilles heel. So he needs to be on the court more in general, right? Overall. Gobert, Gobert is Gobert. You know, we're not gonna expect Gobert to have 15 points and whatnot. We're gonna expect
Right.
him to get between 6 to 10 points, 12 rebounds, double double, a few blocks. Like, were you seeing them double Luca at all in the series?
I think they thought that, and I think we thought Jaden McDaniels was gonna be a better defender on him. But honestly, with Luca, not only do you need like height, you need like some girth to you. Because Luca's a big guy. He's not small. So you need somebody with like a little bit of size on them that can guard Luca. You can't just have like someone. This is where you can be skinny as you want, but you need someone with a little bit more girth. You need an OG type of size. Like
You
you need
need Kawhi
someone
Leonard
like that.
healthy. You need Kawhi Leonard on
Legit,
Luka.
legit. Even a Paul George, like it's guys who are a little bit stronger, who can handle a Luca. But yeah, like I already I picked Minnesota to win this in 7 because I thought maybe Towns and Gobert were going to be too much for Dallas's bigs because I have to think about okay, they're better. I was clearly wrong. It was funny how much I was going back and forth between Dallas and Minnesota at the time because I really wanted to pick Dallas because like it's like your I'm not sure if you want to call it your gut or something's making you want to pick Dallas, but I think I may pick Dallas all the way. I don't want to predict my finals just yet, but I may just pick Dallas all the way. I just think what Luca and Kyrie are doing, what the PJ Washington's doing, what Derrick Jones Jr. is doing, the bigs, like they're all just playing so collectively. Like they're playing collectively, they're playing as a team. The defense has been really good. Like
Very.
all around, they've just been good.
They have a chemistry, even though Gafford and PJ been there. Why I want to say what 35 games, non-including the playoffs, like 30 games,
Probably including playoffs, probably 35 games, like something like that.
but
30,
something like that.
30 to 40. Yeah.
And you see how they find their right spots, they roll to the
Yeah.
right spots and whatnot. It's like they've been playing together a couple of seasons already, so that's definitely a good sign. Looking forward in the future. I know Mark Cuban happy as a mug.
He's probably definitely happy. So, I think that sometimes that happens. People like, oh, you need chemistry, you need chemistry. I feel like you need chemistry when a bunch of players are really good. But when you are going to a team and you've already established that Luca, Kyrie, like you already established it.
Everyone
So
knows
all
it.
you realize you gotta just go hustle. So all I gotta do is hustle and get rebounds and play defense. It's way easier of a game. Way
Get to
easier.
my
Not when you're
spot, I'll get
thinking,
the ball. Yeah. Just
right.
set
You're not thinking you
screens.
have to hog the ball. So it's different. I think that's what is good. But Minnesota, they like you talked about Ant, like it's a lot of little mistakes. A lot of little mistakes that's happening. Karl Anthony Towns was 0 of 8, and then he was 5 of 18 overall. So that means you were 5 of 10 shooting or scoring in the two. That means the post game, whatever.
Yeah.
Once you're like 0 of 5, bro, you're like 5 of 10, that means you're 50%. Keep going to the post. Like you're still a very talented player who potentially can get fouled in the post. This is where, like, not to say I can agree with Draymond Green and Rudy Gobert because it's a clear dislike going there, but I can see why they're like, okay, let's bench Rudy so we can get Karl Anthony Towns as much touches as possible. Because
But I know you
this
want
series, I
the
think you need more
defense.
offense.
I know you
Sorry?
want the defense with Rudy. I'm sorry, so I know you want that defense, but there was a few plays Towns was just getting to the rim, finishing left, back-to-back plays in the third, I believe, right? Or was it fourth?
Mhm.
Yeah, in the second half. And I'm just like, you just can keep doing this.
That's it. So I feel like this series, they need to be more offensively, like, they need to go more offense than defense.
They didn't go small. Yeah.
Right. Right. Go small. like gear to your offense a little bit more. Play Nas Reed. I know he's played a lot this game, but play him as much as you can. Like go
Them at the
offense.
four. So go Carl at the five, Nasrid at the four, then guards.
Yeah, right. I agree. I know Edwards, he did go. He said he was gonna shoot a lot, and he did. But there's just something this the clutchness of Dallas is just better. They're just better,
You have
and it's
two guys in
clear
the
as
league
day.
that Kyrie, we know he's clutch as hell. We
Yes,
know he's like the top five in clutch players in the league still.
right.
Luca, you got to put Luca in there now too.
Of course. Luca's been clutch. He has always had clutch shots. The pitcher I have behind me, he knew what he was about to do. We knew he was gonna sauce them. Um,
Luca,
before we even get to the Indiana Boston, like it's almost unfortunate. We had that second round of playoff basketball was pretty fun, right? We
very,
had a lot of good games.
very.
Um, a lot of energy games. We had two game sevens, could have had three. Like
Cool.
it was really good, right? Even the Dallas and OKC series was good. But look, like now we're going into the conference finals and we just have 3-0 series. 2-3. And the crazy thing is, if Boston wins tomorrow, or tonight, but by the time people watch this, we probably post on Monday. So then, and then Dallas wins on Tuesday. They're not facing each other again until June 6th.
It's
That's
like over
the
the week.
following Thursday. So it's about
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Shit.
That's when the NBA final starts. So we're probably going to be missing 2 weeks of ball. But it's weird. It's kind of like, okay, I guess we're just gonna that's how we do it. Um, but that potential Boston and Mavericks series is gonna be so like compelling because
Crazy.
we have the Kyrie of it all. Kyrie going back to Boston. Is he gonna put a L on Boston's head? Like, because I think he has some strong feelings about Boston.
He
Then you
has a
have
chip on his shoulder with Boston, and we know
right,
that.
right, and then you have the Porzingis factor. Well, Porzingis is with Luca. That was Luca's first second guy. Porzingis was his first. That was the first guy where you're like, okay, Luca and Porzingis is about to change the world.
Yeah,
That didn't
yeah.
do anything. So I find it very interesting this Dallas and then there's that little. Everyone knows that Luca is better than Jason Tatum. We can both agree Luca's better than Jason Tatum, but Jason Tatum is just a topic of conversation so much.
Yeah.
If Jason Tatum wins, is he better than Luca? Like those topics will happen. I think there's a little bit of a Luca versus Jason Tatum of it all, but I can see it both happening. But just to go back with the series, do you see it? Is it done? Is it a 4-0 sweep? Can Minnesota win the fourth game? What do you see?
Minnesota is definitely going to win the fourth game. I see this series 4-2 now.
Also, you think Minnesota's gonna go win two in a row?
Yeah, yeah,
Ooh, that would make people nervous.
yeah.
That
I don't
would
think
definitely.
Minnesota's just going to lay dead like, okay, get swept. No, no, no. Ant-Man's too talented. They got too good of a defense. They're just going to realize, like, yo, it's just little key mistakes. See Kyle Anderson play more minutes, keep slow-mo in. Keep giving him minutes. You know what I mean? He's been beneficial every time he's been on the court. You know what I mean? I guess give Rudy Gobert a little bit less and put
Yeah,
Towns at the five. I guess those adjustments and see where it goes. But try this experiment for, I'm going to say, a half with
yeah.
not giving Rudy as much minutes. And if it's not working out, you got to make adjustments because it's elimination game for y'all. So,
I think they got to go fast.
yeah. And y'all are playing in Dallas too.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah. I think
You
they got
got,
to go fast. If they go fast, like once you take Rudy out, you just go fast because if you make it a close game, you're then telling Luca and Kyrie, do your thing.
yep,
You want to
exactly.
avoid them to do their thing. You have to avoid that completely. So to me, you got to play really fast. Like Ant
Because
got
it's
to
been
push the
close
pace.
games. It's been
Yeah,
close games. The series has been close games on the stretch, right? And
right.
who's going to
And
pull
who's
those
won?
out?
Right,
Maverick.
right,
Shit.
right. Yeah, you can't have close games with teams that have the legit like guy who can get a bucket. You just can't. You're not going to win those. That's what makes certain teams always so dangerous in the fourth quarter because they have the guy to kind of get them over the hump. But I want to believe that it will. I hope Minnesota can win too. I don't want to see no sweeps. I don't want to see no sweep with this series, and I definitely don't want to see no sweep for the next series. I want some competitive games. I wish it was like 2-1 right now. I wish we would have game sevens, but doesn't look like we're gonna get those. I think at most we'll get game fives. Um,
That's
it'd be
horrible.
really hard to see we're getting. I don't think we're getting a game six. I don't think so, man. I really think. I almost think like if I had to predict, and I'll ask you as well, which one's more likely to get swept, the Minnesota or the Pacers?
I want to say this is crazy. I want to say Minnesota
Me too. Me
is
too.
more likely to get swept than Pacers. I feel like Pacers are they're gonna pull off a win at
Yeah, I
least.
think tomorrow has to be a win. Unless you're laying an egg, like you just decide to lay a flipping egg.
Uh, Nembhard had the game of his life. McConnell had 20, I think 3 or 5. Like, stop this.
Yeah.
Stop
And
this.
so then yeah, so I'm hoping we see more of this game. It's kind of shitty, but shouts out to Luca. Shouts out to everyone. Prayers up for Derek Lively. I think he fell awkwardly, but then that's someone hit
Yeah.
his head. Yeah,
It was an inadvertent knee to the head. He fell
yeah,
down on a rebound he was getting, and Towns was there, and he just hit his head on Towns' knee, right? And it was just bad hit still, but it was just those things that happened. Like, it was just
yeah, yeah.
really,
Inverted. You can't
yeah,
really
it was
control
literally
that.
like
Yeah. So
nobody cared.
hopefully he's okay. He may not play next game just
And
for.
that could be a factor. That's why Dwight Powell was in like that, right? I'm like, oh yeah, we've never seen Dwight Powell.
Yeah, the fact that we haven't seen, I was like thinking, I'm like, yo, we really don't see Dwight Powell here. But if Gafford and them are all doing their thing, like the guy you really don't see, and I truly think if Dallas wins, he has to have a game, is Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yes,
He
he's
doesn't
been
play.
laying eggs still though.
He doesn't play. He gets legit DMPs.
Like
And
when
I
he does play, he's been getting a lot of bricks, like bad
that's the
bricks. I
thing.
can't lie, just bad
And
bricks.
like it's playoff time, so you can't be like, we
Yeah,
need you playoff time, right? Like I'm shocked that he doesn't play as much. I'm actually very shocked that he doesn't. But Kid needs defense. Jason Kidd wants defense, and that's what he's gonna get. But let's move on to the Boston and Indiana Pacers. The series I'm way too invested in. You've definitely been on the other end of some voice notes from me from this Pacers series. It's definitely impacted me too much. I do blame myself that the Pacers have lost because both game one and game one, I was doing too much. I was excited. That last 50, when 57, I was jumping around the crib heavy. I was like, okay, let's go. Game one, we took it.
yeah.
Then, of course, unfortunate things happen. Jalen Brown three, um, of just the overtime. Then I we already know what happened. Game two, Boston slaughter. Game three, Indiana was winning most of the game,
Most
and then
of the team.
and then I don't know what happened. And once again, it's you're closing, you're too close of a game, and you guys try so hard to win because in order to beat Boston, you need to try really hard without Halliburton. You need to try really hard, and they did, and I'm not going anywhere. Like you had said to me previously, Al Horford was what 7 of 12 shooting the three. You can't beat a team when their fifth option is shooting 7 of 12 shooting three. Like no team in the world you can beat if their fifth option is shooting
That's
7 of 12.
crazy. That's just crazy.
You can't beat it. You can't beat it. It's like Rudy Gobert having a 10 of 10 game, 20 points, and having like four made free throws, like having 20, like you can't stop that.
It's just
What are you seeing from this series?
I'm seeing first and foremost, I'm seeing entertaining series. Let's get that away. These games have been entertaining despite what has been happening. These games have been
Yeah.
entertaining. Credit Indiana. They're a small market, but those guys over there, they got some guys that can hoop over there, right? But
Mhm.
Boston's just too good, too experienced, too poised. You know what I mean? It's like they got they're the better school, right?
Yeah.
You've been to school and then you go to a better school, you know, they got better shit in the cafeteria, teachers are better, the halls are cleaner, they got more up to date computers,
They
laptops, and
really
shit.
do.
You know
They
what I
really
mean?
are.
It's just that's Boston, and you can't compete. No matter how hard that school tries in Indiana, it's just that school in Boston just is just above. And Drew Holiday, elite defender, DW, not Arthur's DW, DW. Oh
Yeah.
man, he's a dog that's wild. That's what DW stands for. Dog that's wild. Let me tell you something because his defense, he's coming over to contest shots at the rim. You're not
Yeah.
seeing it on the stat sheet. This is what DW is doing with Drew Holiday there too, getting
Right.
steals on the perimeter. Jalen
They're a
Brown is
good
a good
defensive
defender
team.
as well. He's not a slouch.
And Jason Tatum is a good defender too. Defensively, they're a good team. They really
They're
are.
they're pretty freaking legit.
Right. That's why I'm like they can technically, if we're jumping the broom here, but if they face the Mavs, you're saying, hey, Derek White, here's Luca, which I think they'll put Jalen Brown on him for
Yeah.
size. And then you have like Holiday on Kyrie or something. And like
You can switch Holiday and Derek White on Kyrie.
think about it. You can't do any switch and be like, okay, I'm Kyrie. I'm gonna give me a pick and roll. Okay, now I have Kristaps Porzingis. I have Jason Tatum. That switchability is too much.
You're just
Um,
gonna have to do Horford on the island for now, right? That's it.
that's
If
the
it
only
gets
thing you can do,
better,
right? Is do him on an island, and I don't know. Boston's just a really good team, but
yeah,
sometimes you think about it, though, if it was just the if the game ended quicker, and it was before the last like 3 minutes, Indiana's up 2-1 in this series. They really are up 2-1, and
yeah,
like
it's
this is the
so true.
difference of not having like I can say the guy, but it's almost like not having a guy who's just a killer. Like that kill it like Jimmy Butler on this Pacers team is they're up 2-1.
100%. I
They
agree.
just are, right?
I
So they don't have that guy who's just like, oh no, we're good. Who cares if it's 50 seconds to go? We're good. Like Indiana just beating themselves.
yeah,
The out of bounds play that how was it? No, never hard to Pascal who he got the ball out of bounds. That was just they could have called timeout.
they could have
Just
called timeout and Jalen Brown hitting that shot with Siakam in his jersey. Siakam was in his jersey. Any closer, that would have been a foul, definitely. Siakam had
that's
to just send him the go back because he was so much in his jersey. And
I
Jalen
think
Brown,
in regular season they're calling that. I think regular season they're definitely calling that.
they're letting a lot of plays fly, and I love that with the playoffs. A lot of
Yeah.
plays are flying still, but that's a hell of a shot by Jalen Brown.
It was. It was. It was a really good shot. Like that's a shot he's not making most times. He's
No.
really not.
That's a, like a 1 for 20 type of shot he's making. That situation, that closeout.
Right, 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 right.
But
People think that Pascal should have fouled him, but like fouled him before the shot. Do you think he should have fouled him? A lot of people say LeBron even tweeted out that this is why you gotta foul them before they shoot.
I think should foul him, but it's like, did he have time to have opportunity?
Yep.
So we don't know if
And, and
it
you
was
can say
tough.
foul him, but like what if he was like went for the shot and hit it while fouled? Then you have it
Yeah,
could have been a whole thing. Like
tough.
but I do understand why you fouled them. But then you foul them, then you gotta hope that you get the rebound if he misses. But if he makes it, you gotta hope that whoever gets the ball is gonna hit his two free throws in the next end. Like you gotta hope for a lot of things. Like it's very easy to say. This last game, I do think they could have won, but Boston just kept hitting shots. I don't like the Nemhard play. I understand that he was cooking that game, but you had, I think, two timeouts. You had 5 seconds to go, down by one or whatever the time was. You just call timeout.
Yeah.
You set up a play. Okay, at least you can live with the fact that you set up a play, right? So I'm not a fan of that. I
In his
honestly feel like
life,
they're beating
remember that's
themselves.
why the game. You think of it, you're having a game of your life in the biggest game of your life too.
Yeah,
And Nemhard is how old? He's what, 22, I want to say 21?
probably something like that. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like you have the keys for this game because no
yeah.
Halliburton. You're having the best game ever. So I see why he was doing that, but I see why from a coach's standpoint, it's like, okay, run a play, call a play, call a timeout, run a play. But from a player standpoint, I see why he did that.
Right.
I see why, but you're down 2-0 and you're at home, you need to win. So you
You gotta win. You gotta do what you can do. But they let Boston get back and let Boston have the momentum, and you just can't let that happen.
what really
So
sealed the game was when Drew Holiday got fouled, made that left hand layup and won, and he just started flexing.
yeah,
Like, yeah, these guys, that's it. That's it.
I honestly felt like even before when Alfred hit that shot, when he hit that 3-1 shot, they were still down by like 2-3, and I'm like, they're gonna win the game. There's too much momentum. Like, and Indiana looks gassed. They're like, oh my gosh, we like Boston didn't give up. They didn't give up, and I think that that's a big deal. Um, if Halliburton plays, I'm thinking that's probably an Indiana win because you would have had that additional star to help them along the way. So I do believe that they would have won that game if there's a Halliburton. But you believe it's not a sweep. You don't think it's a sweep tomorrow.
No, no.
I agree with you. I hope it's not a sweep. Was it a 5 gamer or a 6 gamer?
Fuck. This has to be a six game too. Like this has to be a six
I
game.
think you just want it to be a 6 game. I
I
think you just
need more basketball to watch. Like I need more basketball to watch. These two series are entertaining, even though it's 3-0, they've both been entertaining. So
yeah,
we need more basketball. Basketball's
I
winding
agree.
down. We need more basketball.
I heard Rick Carlisle, he's trying to motivate his team, and he was saying to them, I guess they're bringing the Eastern Conference, like they're bringing all the rope and all the other stuff to get ready if Boston wins, to like give them the trophy and all that stuff. And he's
Wow.
like, he's using it as motivation for his team. But my thing is, of course they brought it. You're up 3-0. Like they're up 3-0. You have to bring it. The
You
series can
have
be done.
it could be
So
done anytime. Yeah, yeah.
like now to say that's motivation, I'm like, okay, maybe Boston will take tomorrow as an L, but they're going back to Boston. They're gonna want to win that game in Boston. So I think it's kind of weird to kind of frame it like that. But we saw what happened last year. The Heat were up 3-0 in their series, and then Boston won the next three. Of course, Miami ended up winning the series. They didn't want to be the first team ever in NBA history to be up 3-0 and go, but it can happen. You just gotta win. You really
Yeah.
gotta take it one game at a time.
Yeah, that's a big key. One game, and that's what Luca said. I think he's like,
Yeah,
you gotta win another game. He's like, yo, just one game at a time.
that's all it is. One game at a time, and then you should you should be okay. But the Pacers, you know what? Like, I don't. I think I don't like the thought of them being front runners because I think they've competed well with Boston,
They have
right?
definitely.
They didn't back down. They didn't back down at all. Like, would you say you see a now we both agree Boston starting five is now the best in the playoffs. They just are. But do you see a huge difference between Boston and Indiana the way you may have saw it before?
Uh, you know what? I see a difference. Before I
Mhm.
was seeing it was a little bit closer before, but now as I'm seeing the head-to-head matchup, I'm actually seeing what these players do for their team. It's not as close as I thought it was still before.
Oh, with Indiana, but you thought it was closer before.
Yeah, when in the regular season, but now I'm seeing the playoffs, like the actual skill level and whatnot. And
Mhm.
okay, there's a difference. It's not crazy, but there's a difference.
And I think that's where, for both series, playoff basketball is just so much different than regular season basketball, and matchups matter. I think if Denver was facing the Mavericks, I think we both probably would have picked Denver to win, right? Because Aaron Gordon once again has the size to you can't stop Luca. He's a great player, but to maintain Luca, like those things would matter. No one could have touched Jokic in Denver, so I just think like it's all about matchups. So they would have beat them. but OKC would have lost. I think OKC actually was the worst type of team because they would have lost to like everybody. And now
Yeah,
that I think about it,
the
without a
matchup.
big, yeah, without a big, they would have lost. And then with Indiana and Boston, well, Boston just Boston's in, right? Boston's in. They didn't really have to face anyone too crazy. Donovan Mitchell was gone. Allen was gone. Like they didn't really have to compete with a lot of people, so it makes sense. But I agree with you. I hope we get I hope we get a 7 game series. I hope Indiana like shocks the world and at least comes
That
back
would
from.
be
I hope both. I
like
hope both
I could see 3 games straight in Boston winning and being town. Okay, that'll be good. That'll be good.
because Indiana has to win the next 3, right, for it to be a 7 game. But then that'd be a real collapse. Like if they collapse like that, I think they would then make a decision between Jalen Brown and Jason
They're
Tatum.
winning game 4. They're at home. They're going to be shooting like at least 55% again.
So that's for game 4. But then in game 5, Boston's back home. So that's why I think Boston could win that one, right? Because Indiana may just be like, we got one. We got one. But if Halberton's a little bit healthy, anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Because they need his passing ability and his 3-point shooting. That was
Right.
what helping still.
Right. But I think we both agree it's not Boston's winning the series. It's not like Indiana will not be the first team ever to come back from a 3-0 lead and then beat the team that won like 60 plus games and was the best team in the regular season. No, we do not believe that.
No, that's
We
not
just want to
happening.
see an entertaining series.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we really want to see. But both series are have been entertaining. Though it's been 3-0, I would say they've both been entertaining. Any words left over about the playoffs so far?
Nah, we just want to see more basketball. That's it. We just don't want to see Minnesota lie dead, and we don't see the Pacers lie dead. You know what I mean? That's all.
Oh, I would hate that. Like for entertainment purposes, I would hate that. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Like compete, fight. But like we both said, I truly think like the way Dallas is playing, I don't think they want to give a game to Minnesota. I don't think they even want to. Boston knows how good they are that they can just give a game to Indiana. Like they're that good. But I don't think Dallas has the mentality of giving a game to Minnesota.
Tatum too light skinned. He just don't care. He's just like, as long as I look good. If I look good losing, fuck it. It won't game. I don't give a fuck, man. Like,
It's funny, and we can like move on to like uh there's always Jason Tatum talk, and it seems like every Jason Tatum talk, it comes down to the fact that like he's just not at the top 4 or 5 guys, but he's like right there. He's a top 10 player. I think we all agree he's even a top 10 player, but he's just not that next step. And like I said, like a few pods ago, his game just isn't sexy.
hmm
So because his game is not sexy, we all almost pretty much doubt the guy.
hmm
Like we almost doubt the man because his game is not like Kyrie or Luca or Anthony Edwards. He doesn't have that game. It's boring.
I know it just gets to a spot, pull up, simple, in and out dribble, Euro.
That's it. That's his whole game. That's why sometimes I think to myself with Jason Tatum, and I was like driving and thinking about it. I had like a really weird take, but I didn't know how to like educate it. But sometimes I think my uneducated Jason Tatum take, and please let me know what your thought is, and it's gonna shock you the way I say it. Is Jason Tatum just so nice of a guy that he's just better? He's just like that's why he's not a 6'9". Like, what's the difference between Jason Tatum and a six man of the year to me? Like offensively, like what's
They're
like what's the
crazy.
difference? He's
Jason
just a
Tatum
nicer
is
guy.
6'9", 6'10", can handle the ball, shoot the three, three
That's what I'm
level
saying.
score.
And I love Jason Tatum. You know that. I just that's like the hater. And like if I want to be a hater, be like Jason Tatum. He's just a scorer. He can just score the basket. He's just a nice guy. That's why he starts. He's just a nice guy. What makes him different than like I use Kelly Oubre as an example as like a guy who can get buckets or
Or
Malik Monk
Clarkson.
or Clarkson. Like what makes him different? Oh no, he's just a guy who doesn't fight. He doesn't talk. He's just way more nicer,
Nicer
right?
game. Way more
He,
nicer game.
but his
Stop
game is
it.
nicer. His game.
And
Jason is
he's
a
six
nicer
nine.
player.
You're gonna have a 6'9" guy that can shoot, handle at all 3 levels on the bench. Come on the bench,
No,
6'9".
You're right. I think it was just like my hating thought. I think it's because like it's like what is Jason Tatum? But then I thought Jason Tatum's a really good player. I think he's just his game isn't like it's like the same thing about Julius Randle, same thing about Pascal Siakam. These guys' games aren't pretty. They're just not pretty. They're not
Not
exciting.
sexy.
Like
Yeah, not sexy. Yeah.
Jalen Brunson's game isn't the most sexiest. He just
Mm.
plays in New York.
Yeah, it's true. And the thing is, he's a short guy, right? 5'10". I believe he's 5'10". He's not no 6'1". And
Right.
he's scoring in the paint, so that's exciting. That's good to see.
And I think with Jason Tatum, this is the curse. It's not even a gift. It's a curse. He has not played on a team that wasn't good. Like he's never not played on a good team.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas time. Then they got Kemba Walker. Well, no, one yeah, is it Kemba then Kyrie?
It was Kemba, then
No, or it goes Isaiah Kyrie. It goes Isaiah Kyrie, then Kemba.
Kemba was after Kyrie, huh?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah. It was
short-lived
after
because he got
Kyrie.
injured. Okay, okay, yeah,
Then sprinkle some Gordon Hayward. They've had Marcus Smart. They had freaking what's his name? They got Kristoff. They got Al Horford twice. Like they get
yeah.
Derek White. They get Drew Holiday. Like they've just been a good team. So I think that's the curse because he's never had to struggle. Lucas had to struggle.
Yeah, yeah,
Ant Man has had to struggle, and we see all this. Jason Tatum has had Jalen Brown his whole career.
more or less. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's true. He's had good
Who's
squad
Luca had?
with the ITs and with those guys, and yeah,
Okay. Every 2 seconds, we're trying to figure out who's Boston's guys. When you knew that those two young guys, the two Jays, were coming, but you still kind of gave Kemba the title. You still gave Kyrie the title of like that's the top player on the team. When you had the two Jays like just chilling there. But if it doesn't work out, they don't win a title. You trading one of them, most likely Jalen, will have to be Jalen.
yeah. Have to be Jalen. Have
Yeah,
to
I'm
be that
trading
big
Jalen.
ass contract.
Yeah. So, and would you trade him? Like, or would you be like, well, we'll go another year. We'll just practice patience.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Jalen Brown fan, so I don't know if I could wait another year, but I'll see what I don't know. That contract's big. I'll assess. It depends how I lose in the finals,
That's
right?
true.
It depends how I lose in the finals. Like if I'm, what am I shortcoming of? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, if it's like a 6-7 game, you keep everything status quo. You get swept, whew, then
yeah,
you
you
are a
gotta,
front runner the whole year. You just won games for no reason.
yeah. Yeah. If you get swept, yeah, yeah.
So I think yeah, I think like if they ever get swept or even like miraculously the Pacers win the next 4 games, which won't happen. But if that were to happen, yeah, then you gotta trade one of them. But I honestly think even if they don't win, you don't trade them. You gotta be patient.
hmm
You gotta
hmm
be patient. This year's such a wide open field. You have to be patient. You never know when this is gonna happen again.
hmm
And it will happen for a while until like a guy like Wemby teams up with freaking a next man and they become like a super team that you can't really like control, you know?
Wemby's really up next.
He really is. He really is. Yeah, we can move on to the next topic, but since we brought up Wemby, and I think we'll eventually, after the season's done, we'll do like our top 50 players in the league, blah, blah, blah. We'll do something like that. But is Wemby like a top 15 guy already to you?
Top 15? I don't I don't know. I'd say 20. I'd say 20.
The thing with saying that about Wemby, first of all, he's done things that like only Olajuwon, Tim Duncan did. I think somebody else. He was number 2 defensive player of the year, rookie of the year, all NBA defensive team, all NBA rookie team. Like it's his first year. It is bananas. It's definitely bananas. But I also kind of think like we're really trying to crown him really early. Like,
Yeah.
is he top 25? Like he will be. Like he will be. But I can see why people put him there because you would rather him on your squad than other people. But I'm thinking like, am I really gonna put him over? Donovan Mitchell, who's like a top 20 guy, or Jalen Brown, who's a top 20, 25 guy.
I'm
Like,
putting him over Jalen Brown. Me, I'm putting him over Jalen Brown.
I guess I don't know, man. Like, eventually he will be a top. Like he
I know
has,
he hasn't been in the playoffs. I hear you.
yeah. Like let him like do more,
I hear
right? Like a first year, we're just crowning him. Imagine we just started crowning people after their first year. Then Michael Carter Williams would be the freaking like he would have been a top fucking 25 player in the league. Like,
this guy
the,
had the best season as a rookie, and then every season after that got worse.
look at Tyreek Evans, all these guys.
Oh man.
We can't just something we gotta chill. So yeah, but let's get to before we end our pod, we'll get to some a little bit of rumors, as well. Um, the Clippers, they don't want to pay Paul George more than they want to pay Kawhi, and the Clippers don't want to give him that extension because they don't want to pay him that much. I think we talked about this a couple times, and we will once again talk about this when the off season happens. But I don't think Paul George is coming back.
Nope. Nope. Where's he gonna go back to the Pacerland?
I think the three squads that he may go to, maybe a fourth one, but like Pacers. You know what? Because of the money, I'll call Detroit, but again,
Oh,
but probably not
Tam.
Pacers. Pacers, Lakers,
Ooh, yeah,
um, Pacers, Lakers, and Philadelphia. Those are the three. I would say that's three. Because Philadelphia has the bread, and they're willing to give him the max like 4 year contract, 200 mil,
four
and they're
year.
willing to do it.
Right? Philly. Damn. Damn.
Yeah. But I heard Philly really wants LeBron too. I think that the first person they want is LeBron.
They want finish trying to let LeBron, huh? That's not
Yeah,
happening.
they have the money. They have the money.
LeBron's
The
got money.
only who's on their books next for next season. You know who's on their payroll for next season? Embiid and Maxi. That's it. So they're gonna bring
Tobias is done, huh? His contract's
Tobias
done.
is gone. Yeah, that's why they have so much money.
Okay, yeah, thank God. That's why they can sign actual guys that can make impacts in the playoff.
But don't sleep. Tobias is gonna get a contract. He's gonna get it. Because Detroit has the most money, and who's going to Detroit?
Somebody
Nobody
from
is,
contract.
right? Unless Malik Monk is like, hey guys, I'll come. What's the bread looking like, right? Like because Malik can get a freaking max, right? With Detroit.
Detroit needs to find guys that are gonna move the needle, not just guys that okay, this is gonna just be entertaining. He's
Yeah,
gonna
they
be
have to overpay. They have to overpay. They definitely because they have so much money to give out, but they have to overpay. They have to overpay. They have to call DeMar. They have to call LeBron. Call Pascal. Call somebody.
no one's going to the
Right?
B. Yeah, yeah.
No, no, not at
Uh,
all. But yeah, so you don't think Paul George is going? I'll ask you again in like 2 months. But right now, if you're Paul George or Paul George's agent, Philly calls you, the Lakers call you, the Clippers have called you, but they don't want to give you that much money. But the Lakers have called you. I think they'll probably do like a signing trade, but they can kind of make the money work. Detroit can make the money work. Hey, Paul, how's it going? Who can make the money work? And Philly can make the money work. Where are you going?
okay. Here's the thing. Lakers. I wouldn't have to move.
We'll have to move.
I wouldn't have to move, and it's a big
That's the
month.
pro. That's the pro.
So you know what? Guess where I'm going? I'm going to Lakers, and my next option is not Philly, and it's definitely the last option is definitely the Pistons. I'd rather go back to the Pacers second.
That's what in my mind, I would, if I'm him, I don't know why, maybe I'm being biased, but like, why not play? Yes, you can play for Philly because Philly will have, but the thing is, if you go to Philly, you may not have a bench. Where I think in Indiana, you have a higher chance of having a bench, and that matters. Like you need a bench, you need
What?
guys, you need
Philly
guys.
has had not Philly. Sorry. Wow. I'm just sorry, Indiana. I'm disrespecting. The Pacers have had the best bench in this playoffs in this fucking department.
Right,
The most bench points in the playoffs. I don't even have to look at the stats.
Right.
Pacers have it in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And we're just talking about from 1 to 2 rounds, those teams in those rounds. We're not talking about
Right.
this round, right?
Right.
So, and to be a star player on that type of team that's deep, come on, you're just happy. And young guys, you just mentor, just mentor, mentor, mentor.
Like the
James
Philly one
Johnson
would
is
be
still too.
nice. The Philly one would be nice though. But sorry,
It
continue.
would be. It would be. No, team wise, and it would be. Lowry's still there if he's still there, right? Actual guard that's going to just distribute, hustle, whatnot.
Yeah.
You got the Maxi's actually going to go back to his true spot at the two, right? So, no, well, he's been at the two, but PG's going to be the three. You have no Tobias Harris, so that'll be good. You're actually going to have someone that shows up in the playoffs.
Yeah. You
Doesn't
upgraded
matter.
Tobias with Paul George. And you
You
still got
upgrade the
Joel and
ceiling
Maxi.
and defense, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just your bench.
It's not bad. And I think wherever Paul George goes, I think from my standpoint, I think he's okay with going to a team where he's like maybe a 2B or like a three. Like he's gonna be a
Should
three.
be. He's like
Like
33 now, I think.
yeah, like I think he's like okay, Joel, you're number one. Max, you're number two, and I'm number three. Like I think you start considering that more,
Yeah.
right? Especially if you're trying to win a ring, you have to consider that.
And if he goes to LA, he could kind of be that 2B3 because it's going to be LeBron. Well, it should be AD, then LeBron,
Yeah.
and then PG, or like AD first and PG LeBron sort of thing, right? But LeBron facilitates.
I think another team to look out for is if they don't get like a LeBron or a thing, they may go for a Zach Levine. And don't
Yeah.
forget, don't sleep on the Zach Levine to Detroit, but like we both know what the fuck is that gonna do? It does nothing. You're just moving contracts to move contracts. But a team like don't sleep on Philly calling, hey Pat, how's it going, Pat? You've been kind of pissed off at Jimmy Butler lately. Bring him back. We'll take him. We'll give you, we really have nothing, but we're taking it out of your cap space and we'll give you beer draft picks. What's up? They may do it. They may do it. Or do a sign and trade with Tobias Harris. But I'm not sure if Pat Riley would want Tobias Harris or pay that guy. I don't think
But
he would
Riley
want
wants dogs, and seeing Tobias in the playoffs is not no dog.
he I think Tobias will cheese him. He'll cheese them. The next one is Donovan Mitchell. So Cleveland's willing to sign him. They're willing to sign him. But and signed to like a large, I think it's like 220 mil like extension. So they're willing to do it.
It's
But
getting ridiculous.
and the rumors are that he's willing to sign it. But everyone thinks he's gonna sign it so he can leave. Like that's what he wants to do. He's gonna sign it to leave. But there's also reports that like if he doesn't want to sign it, they're gonna trade him right away. Which I agree because but you have to make a decision. If you sign Donovan Mitchell, you're saying bye to Garland. You can't have both. You can't have both. And I think you said it last week. You're going the Garland route, right? You're not going the Donovan Mitchell route.
Mm-mm.
I agree. Yeah. You go Garland, you trade Donovan Mitchell for whatever you can get. Call up the Spurs, get a Keldon Johnson or something, get someone, or heck, call the Pelicans.
Yeah, because I don't want Keldon Johnson. That nigga don't even pass to Wemby, so we can. To me, those niggas are exiled from on my roster. To be honest, you're
A
not
lot of people
passing
say
to
that
the
about the
best player in your
Spurs.
squad, so it's like
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
So
a lot of people say about the Spurs that they don't pass the ball a lot. Yeah, I think the Cleans. I think they like Woj says. I can actually see it now. There may be a lot of moving parts this coming season.
yeah, yeah.
There may be a lot. Oh, there's also reports that Phoenix is interested in LeBron, but I don't
That's
know. I
reports.
don't. Where's the money? I don't know where the money is.
That's reports. That's just to you. Just they just want something positive to say about Phoenix and the Phoenix media. That's
Yeah, where's the money? The LeBron can't do that. Like, there's no money.
we don't even
Uh,
hear LeBron going to Phoenix to watch any basketball games, high school games, college
like,
games,
why is
college
he going?
games.
They're like, oh, they may try to get Bronny, so then LeBron will come. No, Bronny's gonna get signed to a Cali team to make it easier for LeBron. I know it. This is just what's gonna happen.
Just
He'll
put
get
him on
signed
the
to that,
stage, just
or
drag him.
Philly's gonna just do a 10,
Oh, well, okay.
right? But that's what's gonna happen. Last but not least, the WNBA is coming to Toronto in
Yo,
May 2026. It's coming to Toronto. It's big news for us Toronto fans, Canadian fans in general. They're gonna play in Coca-Cola Coliseum, which is also like, but they're also gonna play some games in Scotiabank, and for what they say, they're gonna also play in Vancouver and Montreal as well throughout
oh
their season. But
shit.
it'll be in 2 years when they come, which I believe there's a few people in the WNBA that should be ready. Like Flo J should be ready. I think Juju may not be that. I think she could be the following, but that'd be still nice if she's ready as well. But there could be a few people for this Toronto team. I think it's going to be special. What's your thought process?
Man, that's honestly big for women's basketball. It's big for Toronto. It's big for Canada. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I really agree with them having games at like five different places. I kind of want them to have like
Just
a
Toronto.
yeah, just Toronto, right?
It's a money thing. It's a money thing.
Yeah, 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 right. If you guys want to have games over there, then maybe y'all should think about having a team over there, maybe, you know what I mean? Type shit. But it's still good at the end of the day. I just want them playing in one, maybe two arenas, and it's just like the two arenas is just I play at this other arena twice in the season. That's it. The rest of the
Yeah,
games
yeah.
are in like Scotia. You know what I mean?
I think they're gonna do that. I don't think they're gonna play Vancouver a lot. It shouldn't be. You're right. It shouldn't be more than they play. I think they've increased the games, but I think it's could be 40 some games they play. You can't play in just like 20 home games. You can't
Yeah.
play five home games in Vancouver, five in Montreal, five. No, no, no. You gotta stick to like you're right, two, and it has to be like a low key, like a back to back, or
Yes.
it's one now and then one 3 months later.
Yes. Yes.
But it can't be like one now and 2 weeks later we're going back to Vancouver. That doesn't make sense.
Or if you're doing it, Vancouver have like one, and I don't know how the schedule is, how much games to play a week, but have one, and then the next games in 3 days have it there too.
Right.
So
So
the
it's
opposing
gonna do
team
the
just
same way.
flying to you, and then that's it.
Right. Agreed. Agreed.
So
The one thing, what I realized, it's funny because they're playing in Coca-Cola Coliseum. They say it now. They're saying it today. We'll play in that arena. I promise you, they will not be playing in that arena. The fans, the amount of people are gonna watch that game is so much. The demands, I'll say the first season, they will eventually play there. But the first season, come on. Everyone's gonna want to go watch it.
yeah, yeah.
Summertime watch ball.
Summertime too in Toronto. Yeah, yeah,
And you know how we support our teams. There's a lot to do in Toronto, but there's not a lot to do in Toronto. Okay, there's not a lot to do.
it's
Very
true.
people will go watch a team, especially if you're saying, "Oh, yeah, Asia Wilson coming today. Oh, you got Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionesco's coming. Okay, we're gonna watch.
Caitlin
Caitlin
Clark.
Clark is coming.
Yeah, people are
We're
gonna
gonna
want to
come.
see. They're gonna definitely want to see.
They're gonna watch. So when those games happen, you're playing in Scotiabank. It's that's what's gonna happen. The demand's gonna be too high. I'm gonna wanna watch like if I can get tickets to the first game, that'd be a blessing. But that's gonna be
Yeah, yeah,
skyrocketed prices.
yeah, yeah.
But I would love to watch a few games this season because honestly, like God hasn't blessed me with with a child yet. But when I get a daughter, what? Let's
She,
go!
she's that'd be fun.
Come on. It's big, it's huge for women's sports. It's honestly one of the best things that can happen. We didn't, we really just had the Raptors like 20, 30 years ago. Like, we got them 30 years ago. So
And
this
we
is
had the
special
Grizzlies. We had the Grizzlies for I want to say what 8 years, 10 years
and
maybe.
gone, right? And they're gone, right? So this is gonna be special. It's gonna be special. A lot of women can watch this and kind of see it grow. The WNBA is growing, so it's nice to see. Very nice to see. But that's it for the pod. Anything else you want to chime in, bro?
No, man, that's just a big look. Shout out Drake being another like kind of ambassador for it and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Shout,
Drake was there.
I
Scotty
think
was there. Kyle Lowry was there when they announced it.
yeah, Lowry. Yeah, yeah, that's big too. That's
Yeah, he was all there. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually comes back to Toronto I know he wants to win a title. Maybe he won't do that, but maybe like a 1 year, you pay him as a backup to kind of like lead the guys. I think
yeah,
that won't be
yeah. I,
bad.
I don't
He has
mind
a
the back.
yeah, he has one more year in him, but like that year is more like a vet year. Like
Yeah,
I'm really just teaching y'all. I can play 10 minutes, one game out of like 20. I can play a good 20 minutes. I can pay
Yeah.
25. I can go up and down. So I think that'd be good. But that's the podcast. That is your boy YS. I'm your boy Mike. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll talk again. Hopefully there's no sweeps. I think we can all beg the man upstairs. No sweeps. We can't have that. We want more ball. We need a picture reverse of Rudy Gobert yelling at Luca like you can guard me. That's what we need. Okay, but we'll talk to you guys again. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.